The Judgment Day starts the show. Priest and Finn gets on the mic. Priest tells Finn and JD he's sorry about what happened. Then Finn gets on the mic and says since Drew isn't cleared, he's going to get to move on in the King of the Ring tournament. Adam comes out and says, you're not moving on. You're facing Jey Uso right now. Then we would get a one-on-one match between Jey Uso and Finn Balor. Eventually, Jey Uso would hit a spear and would move on in the King of the Ring tournament. CM Punk comes down to the ring. He says if Drew's not a coward, he will turn around and will come back to Raw and show up to fight. Drew never shows up, and then CM Punk leaves. Then we get a one-on-one match between Io Sky versus Natalya. Eventually, Io Sky would hit her finish and would get the win to move on in the Queen of the Ring tournament. After the match, Dakota Kai gets on the mic and tells Becky after she's done with Liv Morgan, they're coming for everything. Then we get a one-on-one match between Ricochet versus Dragunov. Eventually, Dragunov would hit his finish and would move on in the King of the Ring tournament. Then we get Zoe Stark versus Ivy. Eventually, Zoe would hit her finish to move on in the Queen of the Ring tournament. Then we get Bronson Reed versus Chad Gable. Later on in the match, Sami Zayn comes out and takes out everybody. Then Chad Gable gets to him, suplexes him. Bronson Reed would eventually take out both of them, and he would be the last one standing. Becky Lynch comes out. She gets on the mic, but gets interrupted by Liv Morgan. She comes out and says she's going to become the new women's champion. Damage Control comes out and surrounds the ring, but Liv Morgan leaves Becky. Lyra comes out and saves Becky. Then we get a one-on-one match, Lyra versus Dakota Kai. Eventually, Lyra would get the win over Dakota Kai to move on in the Queen of the Ring tournament. Then we would get the main event, Gunther versus Sheamus. Later on in the match, Ludwig would attack Sheamus and would get thrown out from ringside. Eventually, Gunther would make Sheamus tap out. Gunther would get the win to move on in the King of the Ring tournament. Raw was okay.